In the ancient kingdom of Ranthambore, where the sandstone walls of a 1,000-year-old fort overlook glistening lakes and tangled forests, a queen once walked, not cloaked in silk or jewels, but robed in stripes of fire and shadow. A queen with amber eyes that mirrored the burning sun and a soul forged in the crucible of survival. She was not born to a throne. She earned it, claw by claw, roar by roar. This is the story of Machli, the Tigress of Ranthambore. Born in 1997 under the heavy rains of the Indian monsoon, she was named for the fish-shaped mark on her cheek. Machli, meaning fish in Hindi, but her destiny would be anything but gentle. Raised by a fierce mother, Machli inherited more than territory. She inherited a legacy, a flame passed from mother to daughter in the eternal cycle of the wild. As she matured, Machli claimed the heart of Ranthambore National Park. The ancient lakes of Padam Talao, Rajbagh, and Malik Talao. These were no ordinary waterholes. They were sacred, framed by banyan trees, home to peacocks that danced like living jewels, to spotted deer that whispered through the grass, and to the echoes of emperors long turned to dust. Her domain was more than territory. It was a kingdom touched by myth and guarded by instinct. Even as a female in a male-dominated hierarchy, Machli stood unchallenged. She patrolled her domain with regal calm, her presence alone deterring rivals. Larger males dared not to contest her. Tourists would wait days for a glimpse. Photographers from across the world made pilgrimages. Park rangers whispered her name with reverence, as if invoking a spirit older than the trees themselves. But the jungle, for all its beauty, is a place of peril. In 2003, a moment came that would define not just her life, but her legend. One golden morning, filtered sunlight fell across the jungle floor like blessings. Machli, ever vigilant, led her young cubs to the water's edge. The air was still, the lake a perfect mirror. But beneath the surface, something stirred. A mugger crocodile, ancient, armored, and hungry, lunged from the depths. It was 4 meters long, weighing over 1,000 pounds. With jaws built for crushing bone, it came after her cubs, thinking it would be an easy meal. But before it could strike, Machli sprang. She didn't hesitate. Her body launched forward with the speed of a lightning bolt, attacking the reptile, and with her reflexes and instinct, was able to take the crocodile's back. The jungle, usually alive with birdsong and rustling leaves, fell silent as predator met predator. The huge crocodile clamped its jaws onto her leg and tried to turn the mother into its next meal. Its scaly tail whipped like a whip of death. The odds were stacked against her. For over 90 brutal minutes, they battled. The ground turned red. Twisting and turning, they fought each other, and the fight echoed like thunder. Machli clawed at its eyes, bit into its skull, and twisted with every ounce of strength. The crocodile shifted violently and tried to grab her with its mouth, as if it was trying to throw her. But she held on, not for glory, not for survival alone, but for the tiny lives watching from the reeds. When the battle ended, the crocodile lay still, lifeless, defeated. Machli, bloodied, breath ragged, limped away. 2 canines shattered, her body torn, but her cubs were safe. That day, Machli became more than a mother, more than a queen. She became a myth, a living deity in a land that reveres its wild gods. Over the next decade, her legend continued. She would over time give birth to 11 cubs across 5 litters, many of whom were relocated to boost declining populations in other tiger reserves like Sariska, Pana, and beyond. Her children walked in her paw prints, each carrying her legacy into the unknown corners of the Indian wilderness. Her influence wasn't just felt in bloodlines. Her image adorned tourist brochures. Her name became synonymous with conservation. Because of her, Ranthambore's tiger population rose from a mere 15 in 2004 to more than 50 by 2014, a success story in a world where tigers often fade into memory. Documentary crews from National Geographic and BBC Earth came to capture her majesty. She became the most photographed tiger in the world. Her gaze, piercing through lenses and hearts alike, captivated millions. But time, ever patient, began to wear down the queen. Her once muscular frame thinned, her coat faded like an aging flame. The mighty hunter who had taken down crocodiles began to falter in her chases. Her kills came less frequently, her territory shrank, yet she remained dignified, a silent sentinel of the jungle. Recognizing her contribution to the park, rangers began feeding her buffalo meat. It was not an act of pity, but of homage. She was no longer just a wild animal. She was family, a queen in retirement, still revered. In August 2016, under the sheltering branches of a tree she had known since cubhood, Machli lay down and closed her eyes. At the age of 19, an unheard of lifespan for a wild tigress, she passed into the soil of the land she had ruled. Her death was not quiet. It rippled across the world. The Indian government issued a commemorative stamp in her honor. Conservationists wept. Rangers held ceremonies. Tourists left flowers by the lake. News outlets ran headlines in tribute to the Queen of the Wild. But Machli's story did not end with her body. Her cubs walked the same paths she once did. Her spirit lingers in the rustle of the trees, in the golden ripples of the lakes. Her tale is told not just in documentaries and photographs, but in the very DNA of the tiger resurgence across India. To walk the forests of Ranthambore is to walk in her shadow. She was the Queen of Ranthambore, the crocodile slayer, the mother of tigers, a symbol of India's wild beauty, resilience, and the sacred bond between land and life. And though her roar no longer echoes through the jungle, her legacy will forever thunder in the hearts of all who cherish the wild. She was not just a tiger. She was India's heartbeat, wrapped in orange and black.